creepy.
Yeah, that is creepy. Creepy, creepy. Hi, and welcome to Traveling Marlins. The purpose of our channel is to connect with people and places by learning, traveling, and just enjoying life. The last few months, we have been covering Colorado. I made a Colorado playlist. I'll put the link to it right up here and in the description below so you can look at it. We went to a lot of places in Colorado, so that's why it's taken a little bit of time to show you everything. This week we're going to continue showing you Canyon City and a couple of places there, actually 3 places there, 3 more places. And then next time we do a video, we'll end it with Pagosa Springs. The reason I say all this is because we would love for you to subscribe so you can stay in the loop. And if you click that black bell, then you'll be notified whenever we drop content, including content in the community area, which is not just an area for us, it's an area for y'all too. So we would love for you to subscribe and share your journeys as we share ours. The first thing we're going to share with you this week is the Prison Museum. It was fascinating. The Museum of Colorado Prisons is quite unique. It shares a stone wall and armed towers with an active prison that's just feet away from the museum, which is pretty exciting. There were 2 gas chambers used in Colorado. The first one was a 3-seater installed in 1934 and used until 1954. The second gas chamber was brought in 1955. 8 inmates were executed in that gas chamber. So this is a typical jail cell.
This is probably a hot box. If you acted bad, they put you out here and cook you for a little bit.
It's pretty solemn.
I guess this is still an active prison.
Evidently. Cell house number 4.
How you doing?
Good. How are you two doing?
Hi.
Just letting you know before you guys come in, we don't allow videos in here, just photos.
The museum is the building of the original women's correctional facility constructed in 1935. Jill Coit, the Black Widow, was married 11 times to 9 different men and is in prison for murder. Grace Todd killed a man by removing his eyeball and stuffing it down his throat. The warden and his wife took 12-year-old murderer Jimmy Milton into their home. He had shot his 16-year-old sister 12 times while she wrapped presents. They paid a tutor to teach him piano. He was in and out of prison for the rest of his life. In 1893, Antone Wood became the youngest person in the United States to be confined to a state prison. After 12 years of his sentence, he was paroled when he reported an escape. He changed his name to Charles Henry Howard, married, and became a music teacher. I'm not a big museum person, but this museum I really liked. Unfortunately, it left me with some pictures of things that I don't think I'll ever forget, and this is one of them. I did not know that people could or would want to tattoo your eyeball. Several movies were made based on this prison. Another thing that I'm not ever going to forget about this museum were the art pieces. Those inmates, I'm looking at these photos now, some of them were so very talented. Can you guess what these items were made out of? Toilet paper. The one painting that you see, it had hidden pictures within the painting itself that we looked for. The guy who took a self-portrait, and the eyes honestly followed you around the room. It was kind of creepy. And we read that he painted the eyes upside down, and somehow that helped him in doing that skill of painting the eyeball, so that would happen. The craftsmanship of the woodwork was unbelievable. The rocking chair, the house that was built, the little model airplanes, the cars, everything. It was fascinating. Again, if you're into the paranormal, if you're into the ghost, then this might be the place for you too. And they have special tours for that. And the young lady at the front desk told me some stories of her own.
So we're listed as one of the top most haunted places here in Colorado. We have sights, smells, sounds, all sorts of things. We think it's because of the objects that we have. One of my favorite stories that I have, I was here by myself closing up at the end of the day. And so, had to go downstairs, shut off all the lights. In the far, far back room, in that laundry room, there's a light switch that I have to turn off. You have to stick your arm around a cabinet and go behind it, which sucks in and of itself, but when I flipped off that light, there was banging noises in the washers behind me, which they're not connected to any sort of electricity or anything, so the light wouldn't have done that. So that happened, freaked me out, so I'm running downstairs, shutting off all the lights and everything, and I come back up here, and I start counting out my drawer for the end of the night, and I had exactly $666.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, 666.
666. And I called my friends. I'm like, you guys are staying on the phone with me until I get out of here. And if you hear me scream, send help, because this is not a good feeling. Wow. It was just that kind of heavy presence the whole time. Like I was telling you, when I hear pacing back and forth behind me, that was the first time I ever heard the footsteps walking back and forth behind me as I was counting. It just felt like something was trying to rush me out the door.
And didn't you say you smell sometimes?
Yes. Usually it's cigarette smoke or perfume going past me. The one time in the kitchen I smelled chocolate cake. It just smelled like somebody was baking, and it was really weird. But usually I'll just like go by and you just get like a waft of like cigarette smoke blowing past you, or some perfume going past you really fast, or like a room will smell like it first thing in the morning. Obviously there's no one in here smoking a cigar or a cigarette, so that room, especially Mr. Roy Best, there's this room of like this little thing over to the right is a humidor, so it would hold cigars in it, and sometimes I'll go past that and it has like a residual smell of the cigar, but it'll like waft through the whole room. And it's
How long have you worked here?
just over a year now. I started last February. But
You're getting initiated.
right, I know. My very, very first day here, there was a banging noise in the back of the hallway. Like, very first thing in the morning. There was nobody here but me and my coworker, and
And you came back the next day.
I did. Yeah, no, we get stuff like that all the time. One of the cells I don't like a lot is the medical cell in the back. I have AirPods, so I did the live listening thing, and I put my phone in there, and I heard like tapping next to my phone, and that was freaky. And then there's also that cell back there, which is the little Siberia one, that dark one. Every time I open that door to go in there and clean or whatever, it just, the worst feeling settles over me. It's terrible. I hate it. I hate going in there. It's just, it's not fun.
Again, I'm not a museum person, but I really liked this one for several reasons. Number one, it was very unique. Number two, it was small, and I didn't feel overwhelmed. And every jail cell, again, had a story, a topic. And you could go in there and really focus and see things. And like I said, they didn't overwhelm you with too much. It was really just right, to be honest with you. I can't say enough about it. The price was right as well. It would have been nice to have some of the earphones that you can wear at some places where they'll tell you stories and things like that. They didn't have that. That would have been a nice little feature. But I still highly recommend going to this museum. And I think it will stay with you just like it stayed with us. Now, talk about the exact opposite, from a prison to a monastery. And then we'll have some wine after that. But now we're going to show you some pictures of, and footage. I should say footage. It was mainly footage, not pictures this time. But it's St. Vincent's Abbey. It's listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The monastery was built in 1924 and housed up to 90 monks. Monks carried out 3 distinct functions here. They ran a boys' school, a camp for teenage boys, and then a college and seminary for young men who wanted to dedicate their life to God. It was built as a teaching facility, so the chapel is very modest. The Abbey School opened in 1935 with an enrollment of 35 boys and reached 250 in the 1970s. The Abbey cost $650,000, and that was 3 times over what they estimated. So other monasteries around the country pitched in to help pay for the cost. The Abbey closed in 2005 and it was sold to a private, and now it's used for events like weddings and banquets, reunions, and other events. So it was interesting. As you can tell, it hadn't been updated. So you're seeing a lot of the past in that beautiful building. After Joanna and I left the Abbey, we went to the winery at Holy Cross Abbey. And it was really good. I didn't get any footage inside their gift shop. It was just a typical gift shop. Outside, they have a statue, and it's something about World War II, which I thought was kind of different, having a statue of that there. We went in and we got a flight of 3 different wines, and we sat out on the patio because it was a beautiful day when we went. And we looked at the vineyard, and the grapes looked beautiful. And it was a really pretty day. Had a couple of bottles, or bought a couple of bottles of wine. We didn't have a couple of bottles of wine, but I bought a couple. Joanne and I had a great time there. It was very relaxing, beautiful, good wine, wonderful company. So we had a great afternoon. That's all we have for this week, and pretty much that's all we have for Canyon City. There is, again, I'm going to repeat, there's a lot to do there. So look back at the videos that we've done on Canyon City. The best way, I think, is if you want to get a glimpse of Colorado and all the places that we went to, is to look at that playlist. Have a great week, and remember, it's the best day ever.